everyone, and welcome back to Pitzling, our vanilla build guide for console or Cities Skylines. As we look over the stadium that we built last episode, the game just ended, and we have this rush of people leaving. As you can see, a lot of them are using bikes to move around, walking as well. Hopefully not as many will be using cars, but that's what I wanna can talk about. This episode is introducing our first public transit. Let's just go a little bit faster, see what mode of transportation people will be choosing. As you can see, most people are actually either walking or taking bikes, which is amazing. This really makes me really happy. Yes, some people are taking cars, but look at this. And this is what I was looking for with having this big entry into the stadium. Most people biking. And I think once I introduce my public transit, the using of cars will be even lower. So let's get back to our build. This is part 8. Can you believe it? We're already at part 8. Thank you so much for all the support so far as we move on our build guide. Again, please subscribe and like if you want to support me and like what you're seeing, as well as you can support me through ordering your DLCs or directly through Patreon. For this episode, like I said, I want to start introducing our first public transit. First, before I would like to introduce a tram line and some buses. To introduce the tram line, I would like to build a tram depot, and I was thinking about building it here in our first city center, you might call it, or first town center. But for that, I'm gonna go ahead, pause the game, and do some quick changes to this area before I put down that tram depot. So let's go ahead. So I'm gonna do this while the game paused, just because I'm gonna be doing some changes to this way, and I don't want to restrict people from using this mode of transportation right here to get into the city. So I'm just gonna trim this road down a little bit. Also gonna trim this one all the way here for now. I think I'm gonna trim this a little bit as well. Gonna go ahead, remove all the trees here. As you remember, I already said if you're gonna build on top of trees, you might as well just remove them because it's still counted against your build limit on how many trees you can have in your city, and it's better to actually see them than just building on top of them because they're still counted. I would like to go and have a lower elevation right here. So this we're gonna slope down toward here, and this um, collector will go on top and cross the river right here. I would like to go down. I think this is good. 3 meters, or is it? Let's just make sure. Yeah, let's see if it's the right one. Just go faster. Yes, I think this is good. I'm just gonna make sure that around the river I'm not changing the shape too much, and I'm respecting this. And again, don't worry if you do any mistakes, because once I have my seawall, my key, it's gonna make it smoother. If, for example, you're not planning to have a seawall and you want a smooth transition into your river, you can always use the gentle slope option right here to have those nice smooth transition into your river. I just want to make sure that I'm right here where the avenue is going to be coming down. And yeah, let's go a little bit more towards here. And eventually this road will go below this train line right here without me changing the elevation of the train lines, because I really like to keep the train lines very um, level at grade if it's possible without changing too much to have that realistic looking train lines, especially for cargo, because if you do any um, railway engineering or you're familiar with the concept, you should know that cargo trains, they don't like grades. Actually, grades are really bad for them, and most trains for cargo accept 0.5% of grade at a maximum, which is quite low. Let me stop me blabbing and talking about stuff that's not important. I'm just gonna grab a regular avenue for now. I would like to be right here, and I think, yeah. So this is where the road from here will come and cross. I'll go a little bit further here. Let me see if I can add my, sorry. So how long it went up? I don't want it to go up. I want it to be level. I'm gonna grab my dirt roads just so I can have some frames that I can build against, and this will eventually go up and meet this right here. But this, I'm just gonna put it as my guide, and then I'll go to our slope terrain. This is the height I want to. This is where I'm starting, and I'm just gonna gently slope this terrain here. I'm gonna do it all the way from here, so the whole thing is gently sloped as well. I want it to have it uniform, and now you can see that most of it is uniform. We have those nice line, perpendicular, not perfect, but it's close to being perfect. I'm gonna take my avenue, then I'm just gonna connect it, and now we have that nice gentle slope right here. It's a little bit bumpy here, so maybe I'm gonna delete it and go back to this one. This is the height I want. And maybe I'll start a little bit here to get a little bit more of a uniform. Let's try it now. Again, it's just me trying to be a perfectionist. It's a little bit better. We still have that hump at the end, but it's not bad. I would like to add my key right here so we can connect it. So let's grab which one we were using. Yeah, I was using this one, I think. Let's take it perpendicular here. Perfect. Just a little bit more. Then can I connect it directly here? Yes, and now we have that nice gentle slope, and I think I'm actually using this one. So let's go upgrade. Yes, that's the one we're using. So let's keep the same one going through the whole area here. Let's take the curved one. I'm gonna turn off the road guidelines because I don't need them now. Yeah, this seems like a good. I'm gonna keep it here for now and we'll come back. nice and smooth. You can see even without having to move it, you really can achieve those smooth transition. You just need to be patient and really use that slope terrain. And if even if you're using trying 3 times or 4 times to get it, it's okay. If you're not a perfectionist and you don't want those perfectly smooth, it's okay as well. It really depends on your play style. So I'm gonna remove this one here. I would like to push the ground a little bit here. Go to our road. It was the 3 lane, but since we're gonna be bridging, I'm gonna use lowest 1, 2, 3. I think, yeah. Let's see how it 12. Actually, I might go 4 just to have a nice higher bridge right here. So making sure 1, 2, 3, 4. Because of the cemetery building, I think I'm gonna go with 11. It's still nice and smooth, so I'm gonna keep it this way. Go to our 3-way, connect here. I'll do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11. Am I? Think I'm off a little bit. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11. And then we'll connect with the 3 here. Perfect. So now we just have to connect the avenue back into our road right here. And to do that, I'm gonna go to our slope terrain. This is the height, or we can start from here. It does not really matter. This is the height we're trying to go to right here. And this is where we're starting, and we can just gently slope this towards it. On both sides. It's not working on that side, so I'm just going to concentrate on doing this side first. And then from here, we're starting from here and do the same thing. So I'm going to take our... I think I'm just going to use the 2-lane for now. Once it's straight, I'm going to stop and down. Yeah, that does not look too bad. Just make sure it's the right direction. Do the same thing here. Actually, again, me being a perfectionist, I want to try something fast here before I keep going, because if it works with 12, I'd rather have that 12, to be honest. Let's see how it works, if it's gonna look better. The longer the roads are, the better those transitions will be. So we said 4. We're going to 12 this time. Right here, the 3-lane continuing in there, and 2-lane. First, I need to make sure my terrain is sloped properly. Let's take our 2-lane roads, and once it's on that straight, you see here, it's a little bit off. This is perfectly perpendicular, and then I can just connect. That does look a little bit better, so I'm gonna keep it this way, making sure that we have the right. Same thing here. Again, this is just me being a perfectionist. You guys don't have to go as crazy as me, but for the sake of everything looking nice and good, I'll spend the extra time for this. So 12 down, 3 in here. Let's change the direction of this one. And then we'll go to our slope terrain. This is the point we want to hit. This is where we're starting. Smoothen it a bit. Go to our 2-lane straight, and you can come out with the straight until it's right here, which is in the same nodes as the other one, and it just looks nicely straight. And then down here. Perfect. And then eventually these will cross the river as our main bridge right here. That will be a conversation for another day. Let's tighten this area. I might do a little park here, so I'm just gonna smoothen the terrain. Actually, not this one here. Gonna add some parks, and eventually this avenue will come right here and continue along the river, but I think I'm just gonna go with the street first. Let's go a little bit more in. Then the curve. Once I hit this, gently turn into it. And yes, please and thank you. Let's add a little bit of our seawall that we're using. Let's go straight first. Curve. Or can I just go here? Perfect. Now we have this frame. Let's take our one-way road that we're using. I think we'll continue with the 2 lanes. Let me see how I want to do this. Yeah, 2-lane here. And let's grab our tram. It's a little bit bigger than this. I was hoping it will snap directly below the bridge. It would have been a really cool look. But I think I can put it here. So it doesn't... Okay. Or maybe I'll put it here. Let's take... Just push this a little bit more in. I might change it, so for now, let's just put it down here. Make sure it's connected to power. Make sure we have our water supply. perfect. If these signs bother you, I can just go connect them like this to remove them. And having this U-turn actually gives people one more option of getting to this road if they wish to. Maybe I can do what we call a Texas U-turn. Let's see if I can do it here. And make sure that our... Do we have anything with traffic lights? Yes. Let's remove them because those don't really work in vanilla. With mods, they do work, but with vanilla, they don't really work. Okay, so we have our depot. Now we're ready to start planning our network. Let's go ahead. Now we have our depot connected and ready. We're gonna start planning our first tram line. First, I would like to introduce the avenue that has the tram, so we can go to the tram option right here, and you have all the options of the roads that have trams on them. And I personally like this 6 road bus, tram, taxi, and bicycle, because for the turning lane it's separate and it really helps spread the traffic better. So I'm gonna go upgrade, and I'm gonna start upgrading this to our 6 lane with tram all the way here. Then I'm gonna do the same thing here because I would like to keep the tram line going. And maybe I'll just keep going until I reach the tram depot. And eventually maybe I'll just do it right now. Introduce the loop right here, since the trams need a loop to turn, unlike trains or metros where they can just back into the street. Second, I would like to introduce a plaza right here with a tram exchanged and maybe a library as well. So for that, I'm gonna take our 4 lane. I'll take it out, I think, till I'm here or here. No. Let's go. Yeah, I think here will work better. Yes. So I'm gonna take this one here. For that, I need to remove these 2 commercials, but it's not gonna be an issue. I'm gonna turn off my zoning so most of it stays on the main avenue. I will have to come and redo it again. Let's go back to our... Here, let's turn on the zoning upgrade. And we have to go down to regular avenue. I think I'm gonna go maybe keep the bus lane. No, I think I'm just gonna keep the bike lanes. Yeah, all the way in like this. Let's check on our commercial that we're all have it filled up again. If you lose it, or these will despawn, so I'm just gonna make sure I have them back. Perfect, and I might add more here, but first let's discuss what we're gonna do with this road here. I'm sorry my voice is a little bit off again. As usual, I'm not feeling well, but I want to get this episode done and out for you guys, so I'm gonna go from this point here. I was hoping I can go to the 90. Let's turn off road guidelines, see if I can. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove this. Now we have it, and then I'm just gonna go to our curve. Now we need the guidelines back. I'm not sure why it's not. Oh, sorry, I was using the wrong. Um, yeah, I want the curved. Now we can go back. Maybe I'm just gonna go down. Yeah, just this one I think will work in this case. Let's make sure we're perfect. For the rest, I would like to use our pedestrian roads. I'm gonna go again 90 until I hit here. And then let's put our library, but first I want it. Let's make sure we put it a little bit central, maybe here. Let's turn off these road guidelines. They drive me a little bit crazy sometimes. Now we can put the zoning back. Upgrade. Perfect. And here we just want it on one side. Can I put it on both sides? Yeah, it does not affect us, which is perfect. Let's go to our library now. First, we have to. I'm gonna make this one a tram road as well. Upgrade. Zoning, yeah. And I'll explain quickly why I made that one That looks perfect and centered. So the reason why I put this one as a pedestrian-only road and not a regular road is because I did not want this traffic coming through the main avenue here to use this road as a shortcut to this area. So now they actually have to go all the way, use the roundabout, and then turn, or use the other streets as needed. But it will avoid using this as a shortcut and create more traffic problems. So this is ways you can kind of know how traffic is going to behave and use some techniques to remove that option from the traffic. As we already said, vanilla traffic is dumb. So as long as you don't give it that option, it will not use it and it will not create more problems for you. To connect this one to this rest of the street, I'm just gonna connect it here so the pedestrians can use it. Maybe I can do it a little bit better. Let's see if this will work. Okay, it worked. Perfect. I'll come back and redo the rest of this area here later on. For now, let's finish our tram line. The tram line comes all the way here. Afterwards, I would like it to turn. So I'm gonna go back to our roads. And I'm thinking for this one, I'm gonna use the 4-lane. Let's turn off the zoning, upgrade, and we're gonna go this way now. And oh, it's gonna destroy it. I'll fix it, no problem. All the way through back here. I'll fix this during our detailing time lapse. So right here, we came to our first city center plaza area that we made last time. So I'm gonna switch back to our pedestrian and I'm gonna upgrade this, and I need to go back to regular here so we don't lose it. Then go back to our roads, and for here I'm just gonna use the smaller version. Right through here. Then go back to our 6-lane tram bus. And through here, I'm just gonna have a simple connection through the roundabout for the trams to come through right here. And for it to continue, I'm gonna use the 4-lane again. So let's go just upgrade this whole road going up. And I might just take it down and have a small turn for our trams. Let's make sure we remove all these trees from here. Go to our softened terrain. Let's soften this here. And I'm gonna have this height coming through here. I'm gonna soften this a little bit more. Perfect. Now we'll go back to that 4-lane, make sure 5% is on. That's all we need now. Freedom. We'll make sure we're at 80. for it to come down. Let's see how the slope looks. Does not look too bad. I think we can do better, but I'll deal with it later on when we work on this area. And I just have to make sure that the tram has a loop for it to turn around. Now we have most of the tram line, the first one, ready. I want to discuss this area right here that I left. This is going to be my first big interchange that I was hoping to achieve. So to achieve that, I already know I want one of my metro lines to end right here. And this will eventually go from this area here and to this area here. Maybe the second metro will be here and eventually goes toward downtown right there. So just pre-planning always good, so you know what you're doing later on, and you don't need to remove stuff or rework too much stuff. And also I want to have some bus stops, so I'm gonna use this bus only roads right here. Let's see if I can through here. Actually, one more. I think it's too long. Let's see if... Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm gonna have some bus stops right here, the tram stop right here, and our metro stop right here. And just to make the whole area better, let's just go quickly to our airport apron and throw them in there to make the plaza look nicer. And then I'll finalize everything later during the detailing time lapse. Perfect. Now we have the tram lines all set up. I would like to go and just do some cleaning so our road system makes sense. As you remember, we're going from bus tram way right here into a regular biking 4-lane road here. So I'm gonna do the same thing here where I'm gonna take it down. Was it the 4-lane with biking? Was it this one? Yes. So I'm gonna upgrade this one. I'll do the same thing right here. Great. Do I need any other upgrades? I don't think I need anything for now. This area, I'll come back and work the details during our detailing time lapse. I might remove these because I don't think it works anymore here. I'm thinking about adding, maybe connecting this road to this one and adding more high-end commercial and maybe some office buildings right here. But that's a discussion for later. For now, I think we're ready to actually start plopping our first tram line. So we can go to our tram network, and here you can choose the tram stop right here, tram line. And as you can see, all our available tram roads are purple. And I usually like to keep my tram line purple as well, just because it's easy to identify once you have way too many roads. So for now, I think I'm gonna start my tram line right here. So this will be one stop. Then I would like to have one more stop, maybe right here. I think another one right here to serve this residential neighborhood, maybe a little bit further. Yes, here. And then once it crosses the bridge, We need the one here for this exchange plaza, one here for the stadium, and later on I'll add more, but for now you will have to turn. So instead of putting the stop right here, I'm gonna put the stop right here now, just to avoid having too much traffic built in behind it. It's a segregated line. The lane is only for trams, so I don't think it's gonna make a lot of problems, but I just prefer to put it after the stop than before the stop. So I'm just gonna put it right here. Actually, I think I'm just gonna keep it here for now and see how it works. Then back to our exchange plaza, I'll put it a little bit further down, right here. Coming back here, just a little bit further down. Same thing here. I think I'm gonna put it further down. Maybe it's too close, but it should be fine. Maybe I'm just gonna put it here. We'll see how it's gonna affect the traffic. One stop right here. I think I stop to serve the hospital. Maybe that's a little bit too. Maybe one here for the park. Then one here for the hospital. And there, I'll add more stops as needed later on. Same thing here. One here. And now we finished our first tram road. So we can go to our transportation roads, and you can see the tram road, and what you can do, just go in. I'm gonna change the tram right away. I prefer these modern looking ones, either at 70 or 105. I think for now I'm gonna keep them at 70 and see how it's gonna affect. If we need more, we can go as more. If you don't have all of these, they come with DLCs again. If you're missing of the DLCs, please go ahead and order them through my link below so you can support me at the same time. But here you can have multiple option, which is nice. If you want visually to have multiple tram lines depending on the neighborhood or just depending on capacity as well. For now, I'm gonna go with the 105. Like I said, I like to keep my tram line a shade of purple, so I'm gonna keep it like this. And for the line, I'm gonna call it T. Let's maybe T1. I think T1 I'll keep it for the city center, but I'll start with T10. And what I like to do is just later on, once I have more tram lines, is to actually add for all my transportation which area they serve, just so it's easier for me to understand later on. And believe me, once you start having 17 tram lines, 5 metro lines, 100 bus lines, you really need to clearly mark your bus lines and name them properly so you remember where they're going. Talking about buses, I think this is the time to add our bus lines. So let's start with the buses. So for the buses are way easier than the trams. Maybe I should have just started with the buses first, but let's start with our buses. For the buses, the only thing you really need is the bus depot. You can also go for the biofuel bus depot, but this one will only give you access to biofuel efficient buses, which are more environmentally friendly and produce less um, pollution. But for me, I'm just gonna use the regular one. I'm just gonna leave it here for now. I'm gonna redo this whole area and maybe move the bus depot somewhere else afterwards. So for my buses, I always like to have my buses are feeder to other modes of transportation. If I'm just using my regular buses. So for the bus service that I'm looking to do is to actually serve this area here, bring the people to our tram lines. From this area here as we're to the tram line, from this area here to this plaza, tram line, metro plaza, and vice versa. So some buses can be hybrid, where you can connect two neighborhoods or connect residential, commercial, industrial. But the more you put on your buses, the more capacity problems you start having. So I prefer to use them only as feeders, unless I'm going for a high capacity bus system, which I'm going to use later in the game, and I'm going to explain it later on. For now, I'm just looking to introduce feeder buses, which is from our residential to our high capacity transit options, which is our tram lines for now. So for now, I'm gonna go ahead and try to connect these two neighborhoods to our main focal points. So we have our tram line here. So I'm thinking about having maybe a bus stop area here close to it. So let's see where it's best to have it without interfering too much um, with our road network. I don't want to use a bus station. I think it's too big from what I'm looking for now. I was just thinking about maybe just having a bus only road, and I think it will work perfectly here. And I will have our buses mainly stopping right here. So let's go to our bus options, and from here you can just click the bus line, and I'm gonna have to stop here. So I would like the bus to kind of service this area here, and it will have another stop right here, so it kind of loops back into this one again. So I'm gonna start here. I think if we go, why is it going that way and not this way? Oh yeah, I think if we go here, it will have to service the high school, so just one stop right here will be good. A stop here for the school and park area. Maybe a stop here. A stop here. Maybe it's too far for these people, so I might have to... I'll move that. I'll add another stop. Once it crosses, I'll put a stop right here. Should be close enough to everyone. Another one here. Another one here for this library area. And then coming down here. One stop here for this older care facility. And why it's not letting me go in here? That's weird. It's letting me go here, but not here. Okay, I'm gonna check what's the problem with that one. So let's just... It's not like in this area here, so I'll have to come back and check why. For now, I'm just gonna put the stop there, and I'm just gonna go back and trace all my stops backwards. No. So I'm just gonna remove this one because we don't need it. Perfect. Now we have our first bus line ready. Before, I think I wanted to add some stops. So actually, I'm just gonna keep it this way. Actually, I'm gonna move this one to here, and I'm gonna add some intermediary stops right here. Perfect. So I'm still not sure why this is not working here. Oh, I think it's because of this. So let's see if I can move it now. Yes, I can move it. So this is a problem I notice sometimes with the airport aprons. If you use them too much, sometimes it removes some of the functionalities of some of the stuff, um, and then interfere with the stops. So you have to be very careful. I might I'm gonna let it run first and then I will add the aprons and see if it's still working. If not, I'm not gonna put any aprons and just actually do some more landscaping for that area. Now we have our first bus stop. Let's introduce our second one, which I'm gonna just, sorry, I'm looking for bus, yeah. New line, gonna be stopping there. I would like it to come through here. Through here. Here. I'm not gonna put one in the main avenue, but maybe one here. One here. And one here. Perfect. And then trace back. Eventually, I think I'm gonna connect it to this bus stop as well, but for now, I think this is good. Complete line. Perfect. Then I think I'm gonna add one more line that's come into this industrial area as well. So I'm gonna start it from here. It's gonna be more of a shuttle service. Comes in, makes a stop here. A stop here. Stop here. Maybe one stop here. and comes back. So now we have our three main bus stops. I'm gonna go to our transport road. For my buses, I always like to keep them on the yellow gold spectrum. That's just a preference. You can do whatever color you want. And I prefer to use the Japanese commuter buses. For me, this is the best capacity-wise and money-wise. They're smaller, so they didn't take a lot of space, and they're quite efficient. I'm gonna start my bus lines with B. I'll start with 20 on this side, so B20 will be our first one. And it's serving Fairview, Cam and Castle. So I'm just gonna add Fairview, Cam. So I know that this bus road is servicing these two areas right here. Let's go to the second one, which is this one. Let's change the color again to shade of yellow. Change the bus again to our Japanese commuter buses. And I'm gonna change the name B21 and it's Williamsburg. Perfect. And then we have this one here. Because this is a shuttle, I'm gonna name it something a bit different. Let's go quite dark. Change this one back to the same buses. I'm gonna call it 51. I will try to have all my shuttles as 50. And then to Kingsway. Kingsway shuttle. Perfect. Now we can actually press play and see how our transportation system is working. Now I press play. As you can see, our first buses are leaving the bus depot right here, and our first tram is leaving our tram depot right here as well. We have a little bit of flooding, but I think it's just because we did a lot of terraforming around this area, so it should solve itself. Let me check quickly. It says we have an issue here with our tram line. Why is not connected? It is connected. Interesting. Okay, it should work now. As you can see, yeah, our tram lines, trams are moving, our buses are moving as well. Let's remove all the stop sign that came from modification of the network. We don't need any stop signs. Sorry, not stop signs, any lights anywhere here. Great. Let's, as you can see, introducing public transit is driving a lot of upgrades. Our industries are going to be upgraded, and our housing as well, a lot, because providing them with public transportation is a service that drives our value upwards. As you can see, there is a little bit of over usage of this area right here. Once all these buses and trams are spread out, it should be fine. So while waiting for it to spread out and even out, I'm gonna go into time lapse. I'm gonna tidy up this area. I'm gonna add some offices and maybe some commercial and redo this whole corner right here while waiting for our transportation to balance out. I'm gonna do the same thing around this corner as well. Then we'll meet towards the end of this time lapse and we'll discuss our transportation network so far and what we'll be doing the next step. See you in a bit.
fireflies, blushing like the sunset in your eyes, floating like a halo paradise. Somehow you make all the wrong things right. Now that I got you, we could burn it down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. Look at what we found, 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 found. For you I'm always down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. Look at what we found, 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 found. For you I'm always down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. to walk away now that I got you. We could burn it down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. Look at what we found, 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 found. For you I'm always down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. Look at what we found, 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 found. For you I'm always down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down. We could burn it down, 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 down,
So here we are. I think our public transit for the start of the city is done. As you can see, the population is getting ready for the next football match. I did change the entrance to the stadium with having a crosswalk right here so people can cross directly and not having to go around. But before the match happens, let's go and discuss what we did so far. Coming to this corner here, I did switch the area from wall to wall um, commercial to more of the malls commercial with these restaurants. So I created a small area where people can have drinks and food around this area with a beer garden around here, with a cafe, with some restaurants. I also added some offices in this corner along the main road. And as you can see, another restaurant just popped here, which I'm gonna make historical. And it just finished this corner right here. For my transit areas, you can see I made two bus stops with light detailing, with some covers, some seats for people, some info booths for tickets buy-in and such, some parkings, some light detailing with some trees as well, and the fountain right here. And we can discuss the public transit in a bit. Going back here to our next public transit plaza, again, we have the tram stops right here, we have the bus stops right here, and then we have the future metro stop right here. I just added some shading, some seats, some grills and bathrooms for people using this plaza, some seats as well, very light detailing, nothing too crazy. Some seats with trees for people to be waiting for their buses or their trams. Um, Along here, I added a little bit more office space just to complement this hospital right here. Usually, doctors or extra health equipment or health facilities are housed outside of the clinic in different buildings. So I added these two here. But I think for now we can go and discuss our public transit. So for that, we can go to our transport routes and let's start with the tram. So as you can see, our tram starts from here, goes around. This area has a main stop here, around through over the highway to this other plaza and through here and eventually gonna go toward our university right here. We can go down and look at our usage. As you can see, we are using 14 vehicles and they're not being used that much. So what we can do, we can go to the vehicle count modifier and then we can reduce the budget. I prefer to have just enough vehicles running to satisfy the demand because we're using the roads, so you don't want too many trams running around the roads because that will use up the space and will create traffic problems. As well, it's more expensive. The less vehicles you're using, the more budget friendly your transportation will be. The more it's used, the more money you're going to be making per vehicle. So try to check your public transit often to check if it's actually being used or not, reduce it as needed or add more vehicles as needed. Here I chose the tram at 105 capacity. I think it works. I might increase it to the 132 if it's needed, but for now I'm gonna keep it for this one. And once it balances out, let's see if we need to readjust or not. The other good thing that you can do is actually name your public transit to where they start and where they're going to be going, just so it's easier for you to know how to handle your routes. Because once you start getting too many routes, it's going to be a bit difficult uh, to know which ones you're looking at, except if you know where they start and where they go in. For example, this one will start in Cam around this area and eventually will end at our university area on this hill. So I called it Cam University. So now we can go to our bus routes. As you can see, our shuttle service that starts from the plaza here and servicing our industrial area. If we go, we only have two buses running. I think this is enough. It's not being used that much, but it's still satisfying the demand. I think going down to one is not good, so we have enough buses running to satisfy. If we go to our main bus route that connects our main neighborhoods, as you can see, it's our busiest route, but the buses are not being used that much. Still satisfying. We don't have any big numbers anywhere, which it's good. If you see any bus stops that are getting way too many passengers waiting for a bus and the bus itself cannot handle it, it either you need to go to a bus that has more capacity or you can add more buses on that route. This why I prefer this Japanese commuter bus. It has a high capacity, is a small bus. It means it takes less space and it's cheaper to run, and it's part of the Japanese railway DLC. So if you don't have that one, you can purchase it as well. Going to our Williamsburg, which satisfy this starting neighborhood, again, we have six buses. As you can see, they're not used fully. I think this is a good number. We can keep going with this one. If we go to our rural area, I have one bus loop that goes around here, and I made two loops, one going west and one going east. It's only two buses. It's gonna get busier once we expand our neighborhood right here, but for now, I think it's fine, and we'll expand it as needed. The shuttle that serves our agriculture area is good as well, but as you can see, some of the buses are quite empty. So what I'm gonna do, I can go up here in the vehicle count modifier and I will reduce it to only 6, and I think that will be enough. We can always go back and see if we need more or not. I made one express bus, and this bus runs from here, from this plaza, all the way to our agricultural area here. This is an express bus. It only has two stops along the way. It kind of moves a big number of people from one spot to the other, and I'm using it to cover the area where I'm not going to have any high capacity transit. So in the future, I'm not going to have any trains running this route, any metros running this route. So a rapid bus or a bus with limited stop can work. And at that point, you can either, I'm just using this Japanese one since the capacity is quite good. Eventually, if you want, you can go to the articulated buses that have higher capacity, but those ones only work on higher capacity roads because they're quite long and they take more space. For this one, I added one stop right here because this neighborhood did not have as many stops at the other. And as you can see, a lot of people actually are using this bus stop to get to work or back home. That being said, I noticed that traffic slowed down a little bit on my roads. We don't see as many private cars going through. Transit is being picked up. A lot of people are walking and biking, which is great. This is exactly what we're looking for. Um, I have one building that I need to remove from here. As you can notice, I'm still having issues with the educated people problem. Once I have my university and we have more educated people, we won't have these issues anymore. But we'll tackle that subject in the future. For now, we can just look how busy our exchange area is. As you can see, a lot of people are coming through with the bus, moving to the tramway, or vice versa, moving from the tramway to the buses. And eventually, once our metro system is up and running, that will help people transit to further areas in our city. It's an amazing feeling to see this. People are actually using transit. I would like to see once the match is over and the people are moving. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go into a fast forward time lapse, and let's see when the match is done. So here we are. The game is over, and let's see how many people are going to be choosing to use uh, own transportation using cars, and how many people are actually going to be walking or using bikes. As you can see, most of the people are walking towards the public transportation we have here, right here for the trams. We have a lot of people walking here for the bus stop, which is amazing. It means they're using the shuttle. And we have a lot of them waiting for the tram. A lot of them biked as well. Now we have a lot waiting for the shuttle, which make me think maybe I should add another tram stop right here to service our stadium. That being said, let's enjoy some more movements between our transportation services right here. People moving between the buses and the trams. This is what I like about City Skylines 1. I don't know how it works in City Skyline 2, but for now, we don't have that option for console, so I'm still happy with this one. This is amazing. And let's go to our other exchange and see the busyness right here. Again, people moving between the trams and our buses. It just very satisfying to look at. Sometimes I just press play and look at the people moving, the cars, the buses, the hustle, and this is just gonna get better and busier as we go. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Thank you for all the support. I really appreciate all the comments that I'm seeing. This really drives me to keep going and posting more content for you guys. I'm always open for suggestions and inspiration from everyone. So if you have something, please leave it down in the comments. As well, if you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep going and motivates me to post more and keep this series going. As well, if you want like to support me directly, you can either check the DLCs through the Instant Gaming link or through Patreon as well. I'm sorry this episode took a little bit longer than expected to post. I was a bit busy with work, but I promise you the next few episodes will be coming out soon. Enjoy the last cinematics, watching this crazy intersection, and thank you so much. See you next time. Have a good day. Thank you.